racing. It's on the side of a hill, but it's hard work for them when the ground's soft. Giles Cross, an out-and-out stayer. Victor Dartnell well in form, and 15-2. LeBeau by another one. Richard Lee stable in form, another one who keeps galloping through the mud. Fortification, Johnny Farrelly, Kieran Burke 11-1. Ballyfoy, Jamie Moore there for his dad 25-1. And Nozick, Harry Skelton riding for Zoe Davidson 66-1.
Never thought we'd see Free World when he started his career in Britain, when he was a 2-miler. Now 3.5 miles, he's 33-1. Aldertune for Paul Nicholls, Darrell Jacob. Talented horse, but a difficult ride, a bit of a monkey. Come on the Hammers, 22-1 for David England, Nigel Twiston Davis. Sam Thomas is down there to ride for Anthony Honeyball. Victor Serenade 8-1, and Sound Accord, Tom O'Brien, Alex Hayes also 20-1.
John Joe O'Neill won the stay and chase here at Cheltenham with Galaxy Rock yesterday. He's represented by another stayer in Rapid Increase. Richie McLaren rides him. Ray Nacarado, Andrew Tinkler for Charlie Longston comes here in really good form. 9-2 favourite now. Paco Leighton Elspel for Oliver Sherwood. 20-1. Passed me by Liam Treadwell. Okay, after that nasty fall yesterday for Susie Smith. 40-1. And Tim the Chair, Conor O'Farrell riding for Emma Lavelle. 15-2. And finally the last one, Not a Bother on Me. And Will Kennedy, a 40-1 shot, Not a Bother on Me.
Johnny, I've had a couple of runners at Fontwell. I haven't been there for a while. Went 5 or 6 times in the 80s, 90s. Are the fences softer here than at other tracks? Because they look as though they brush through them.
They're not as stiff as most tracks, but if they were stiff, I think it would detract from the course. It's a figure of 8. It's when it gets soft like it is today, takes an awful lot of getting, because they run down the hill and they get freely wheeling down there. If the fences were stiff, you'd have them tipping up or falling on there, getting over on their forehand and falling over, and then they've got to slog all the way back up. We've seen some finishes that just, almost break your heart watching them crawl over the last fence. And believe me, that's what will be happening today. It's a war of attrition round there.
Do you need a specialist type of horse?
They've got to be quite handy. It's because of the configuration. You need to be able to just sort of nip from one side to the other, try and pick the shortest way round.
So would there be, when you were riding for Fred Winter, which admittedly was a long time ago, you say, don't run that there, the track won't suit it?
I remember riding a horse there called Oswald Deston on hard ground in a 2-mile handicap chase, and I rode it in a double bridle. I don't think I've ever seen one on a race course before or since.
What's that for the viewer at home?
It's one that you put on a horse if they're really strong pullers, and it was last as they turned round away from the stands with about 50 yards to go to the first fence, and it jumped the first about 3 lengths clear and just winged it down the hill. He was a really good jumper. But now you just need, on this sort of ground, you just need something that it will never give up. You need one that's one step up from a hunter.
We're nearly ready. Topeport Southern National, all bar one of the 7 past winners, have figured amongst the first 4 in the betting. So if you back the first 4 in the betting, seeming to say you're going to find the winner. We shall know shortly, because Ray Nacarado is the favourite. Well backed 4s from 7s. Aldertune 6s from 8s. Money for him too. Giles Cross is a 15-2 shot. Victor Serenade marginally bigger at 8s. Tim the Chair 70-2. 9's Rapid Increase. And it's 11-1 or bigger the remainder. 3.5 miles. Take about 7.5 minutes, I would think. Twisting and turning. And as John said, it's a really good, fun place. It's not far from Goodwood. It's obviously a long way from my part of the world, but I had quite a good, fun horse called Impany that ran second down there a couple of times when Tim Forster was training him for me. And decent prize money. First prize here of £8 More money for Ray Nacarado, who's now 7-2, having, as we showed you a moment or two ago, opened at 7-1. Aldertune 13-2. 15-2 Giles Cross. They looked as though they're ready a couple of times.
What do you fancy here, Jim? I've got a feeling Paco will give Leighton Aspel a good ride round here.
Well, despite the fact that Timeform have got a squiggle on Aldertune of Paul Nicholls, and they have him, and he is a bit of a character. He is a horse with plenty of ability. Be interesting to see how he goes. It could be quite a story, and Richard Hoyles is going to unravel it for us.
And that's not a go, I don't think. There's not that much room to manoeuvre down there, and a few of them are just a little too anxious to get on with things. So they've broken the tape, which will need to be re-stretched across the racecourse. This Topeport Southern National, £13,000 up for grabs. Reface the starter. And see if he's happy. Fortification, the grey, requiring some encouragement, but they are off and racing. So racing for the Tote Pool Southern National. Giles Cross, the colour change in the yellow and red colours, is the first one to rise. Watching them all over it towards the rear of the field. Come On the Hammers was already requiring some encouragement as Giles Cross and Fortification cut out the early running with Pass Me By as they approach the second of the fences. Not a Bother On Me jumped out to the left, and Come On the Hammers is taking a while to warm to the task. LeBeau by, and towards the rear of the field, Paco's rider lost an iron for a while, and that's just caused him to briefly get unbalanced towards the back as they take fence number 3, which again, Come On the Hammers virtually jumped into the back of Paco. So meanwhile, clear of all the trouble up front, the grey Fortification and the colour change, red and yellow colours now of Giles Cross. They lead by as much as 4 lengths early on from Pass Me By. Then Aldertune beginning to continue this great day for Paul Nicholls in red and yellow, just ahead of Tim the Chair in the stripes, Ballyfoy in the light green and chocolate stripes on the outside of the pink jacket of Rapid Increase. Victor Serenade, white and red, just ahead of Sound Accord, who's just requiring some humouring along in midfield. Ray Nacarado in the black and green checks with the white sleeve, the white face is towards the centre of the racecourse with Nozick and Not a Bother On Me ahead of towards the rear of the field Free World as they reach the first of the 3 down this side of the course. Paco's amongst the stragglers, LeBeau by, and Come On the Hammers, who really hasn't had a cut at his fences so far this afternoon, is towards the rear of the field. Giles Cross and Fortification over the next, to which Tim the Chair didn't get very high, and Not a Bother On Me made his second mistake of the race and rather impeded LeBeau by in the process. So on towards the 6th, and Fortification the grey, red and yellow colours of Giles Cross, green jacket the inside, Pass Me By. Victor Serenade has made ground, white jacket, although didn't get very high there. Watching the stragglers over it, Come On the Hammers is already well detached, a good 20 lengths behind the other runners. So Giles Cross in red and yellow on the outside of Fortification. Sound Dancer in the pink jacket with Pass Me By, and also in that chasing group is Victor's Serenade. Ballyfoy's held his place a little better than is sometimes the case and races in 6th place just ahead of Aldertune. Tim the Chair after that mistakes in midfield. Nozick is on the outside of Paco, who's made a little bit of ground on the outer in the blue colours. Sound Dancer, Ray Nacarado still well back with Free World, LeBeau by, Not a Bother On Me, and I think Come On the Hammers is already being pulled up. So Come On the Hammers only made a circuit and is already the first horse to exit the race. So Fortification and Giles Cross over in front, from Victor Serenade, Sound Dancer over in 3rd and 4th places in company with Pass Me By. Ballyfoy on the outside with red and yellow colours of Aldertune. Ray Nacarado now travelling quite keenly in midfield, the white-faced horse. Tim the Chair towards the inside as the leaders step over the next. Again, Tim the Chair didn't get overly high. Paco is still in touch with Sound Accord, then Free World, a gap of 6 lengths to LeBeau by, and a couple to Not a Bother On Me. So they continue on their merry way, passing us for the second of the 4 times in all. And out in front, Fortification and Giles Cross disputing the running with Victor Serenade, Sound Dancer and Pass Me By. Ballyfoy in 6th place in the lime green colours. Race is just ahead of Aldertune. Ray Nacarado, Sound Accord. On the inside is Nozick, and Tim the Chair, who's lost places after a couple of errors. Paco comes next ahead of Free World, and then LeBeau by, and at the rear of the field is Not a Bother On Me. So they're running downhill and on towards the 10th, and Giles Cross, Fortification, they lead the way from Victor's Serenade. Over in 4th place, Pass Me By with Sound Dancer, Ballyfoy, Aldertune. Tim the Chair making a little bit of ground again towards the inside. Ray Nacarado, the white face, rises next ahead of Sound Accord. Then comes Nozick, Not a Bother On Me towards the rear, makes yet another mistake as once again they're crossing the intersection, and still Giles Cross and Fortification lead the way. Victor's Serenade is the horse that currently is on the outside as they'll take the next leap with Pass Me By. They're 3rd and 4th over the next from Sound Dancer, Ballyfoy, Aldertune and Ray Nacarado improving together. Then Tim the Chair on the outside of Sound Accord. Nozick still travelling okay. Paco, a reminder there for Free World. LeBeau by is still continuing, as is Not a Bother On Me, and they are still just about in touch, those two, about 5 lengths off the back end. So turning back towards the open ditch for the second time, this is number 13 of the 21. Fortification and Giles Cross continue to cut out the running. Pass Me By, the pink jacket of Rapid Increase, and then Victor's Serenade towards the outside continue to make up the chasing wave. Nacarado is beginning to edge closer all the time, the orange cap, as they take the open ditch. Rising on the outside, Tim the Chair, another mistake. I think it's at least the third one I've given to him. Lebobai being niggled along to try and close on the leading group. So Giles Cross and Fortification continue to show the way. Victor's Serenade, and at the back of the field, Paco has gone and has brought down Not a Bother on Me. So Paco and Not a Bother on Me, both out of the race. Both the horses okay. Hopefully the same for the riders. Giles Cross and Fortification with a circuit to travel. Ahead of, in third place, Rapid Increase. On the outside, Pass Me By. Ballyfoy, as I say, has travelled much smoother today for Jamie and Gary Moore up on the outside in the cheek pieces. Back towards the inside is Victor's Serenade. Nacarado's in seventh, passing us with a circuit to travel. So the order, the grey Fortification on the outside of Giles Cross in red and yellow. The pink jacket of Rapid Increase on the outer of Victor's Serenade in white and red. Pass Me By niggled along. Aldertune in red and yellow ahead of Nacarado and Ballyfoy, who is now just being niggled for the first time. Sound Accord in blue and white from Tim the Chair. Nozick comes next. Lebobai and Free World in the checks. They're the only ones continuing, but all of those that are still in the race are covered by about a dozen lengths or so as they race on towards the sixth last. And it's Giles Cross on the inside of Fortification. They're over from in third place Victor's Serenade in white and red for Sam Thomas and Anthony Honeyball, just moved out to get a sight of the fences. Then we have in pink Rapid Increase as they take the next from Pass Me By, Aldertune and Nacarado. Lebobai made a mistake towards the rear of the field, and with Free World is beginning to struggle in company with Nozick. So they're making their way across the intersection. There's still four fences to take. Giles Cross and Fortification cutting out the running. From Victor's Serenade, Rapid Increase is still there on the inside with Nacarado. A Sound Accord rather skied that. Nozick's under pressure. Tim the Chair is also losing touch with the leading group. So the roll call as they prepare the turn towards the third last. Fortification with Giles Cross, Nacarado nipping up the inside, coming there very strongly. Then the pink jacket of Rapid Increase, Ballyfoy, the red and yellow colours of Aldertune. Then Victor's Serenade and Pass Me By as they spy the third last. And out in front, Nacarado on the inside of Giles Cross. Between the pair, the grey Fortification. Aldertune from Ballyfoy are the next two to rise. The final ditch, three from home. Giles Cross on the right and Nacarado. Fortification pecked on landing between the pair. Then in fourth place is Aldertune. Ballyfoy on the extreme left, two from home. Giles Cross is over, 2 lengths clear. Nacarado now for the first time under strong pressure. Aldertune continues to stay on, but Giles Cross has a lead of about 3 lengths. He approaches the last from Nacarado as they reach the final fence. Giles Cross is over from Nacarado, and then Aldertune. Ballyfoy down on his nose, off up the running. Giles Cross about 3 lengths clear. Nacarado and Aldertune as the leader begins to idle out in front, but is still clear. Giles Cross by a length and a half. Nacarado trying to close. Giles Cross all out, still running on. Fortification at the line, but Giles Cross will make most and win the tote pool Southern National, and another big prize for Victor Dartnell. Tight second, Nacarado and Fortification. Aldertune from Sound Increase. Ballyfoy at only 6 finish.
Another decent win for Victor Dartnell's in-form team. Giles Cross at 15-2 wins the tote pool Southern Grand National.